Howdy y'all, welcome back to the farm. Today, we're working on some projects inside as we prepare for a bunch of guests coming and joining us for the holiday season. My wife's family is coming into town and there's going to be a lot of extra people here. So what we're going to do today is try to prepare for that by fixing this broken toilet. Both toilets in our house actually were having issues with flushing, draining, and leaking. So today what we're going to do is we're going to take this toilet apart and show you how to fix the internal workings of a normal household toilet. Now today we're going to be using the FluidMaster Everything Kit. It comes with everything you need to repair a 2-inch toilet. That means that the hole in the bottom of this basin here is 2 inches. The first thing we're going to do is shut off the water. After we shut off the water, we can flush this toilet down to get most of the water out of this basin. After we get most of the water out of this basin, we can disconnect the hose and then start undoing these nuts on the back that attach to the bolts that hold the top tank to the bottom bowl. Once we separated the top tank from the bowl, we can take it downstairs to our bench where we can put the rest of the components in. Now to turn off the water, we're going to take this valve right here and turn it to the right. Turn it to the right until it stops, and now we've turned off the water that's going to be entering the toilet. Now we'll remove the top of the basin, and when we flush this toilet, no new water is entering the tank. Now remember, those of you who might be a little squeamish, remember this is all clean water going into the toilet bowl, so it's not like you're working with raw sewage here. For some people that's a little bit of a solace when working with the top of the toilet. This is all clean water. So now with the bowl drain, with the back of the toilet drained down, we can disconnect the hose from the filler. Oop. Get a bowl underneath there to catch that extra water. And now I can start using this green tool that came with the Everything Kit to take out the nuts that are here and here that hold the top tank to the bottom bowl. We finally got through that rusted bolt. I had to take a hacksaw and cut it off at the stud, but we got it off. So now this whole toilet bowl comes free, and we'll just dump the rest of this water out in the sink. Alright, now that we got the toilet bowl free, we'll take it downstairs and swap out the parts. Now that we got the tank separated from the bowl, it's down here in the workshop, we can start disassembling the components from inside. So the components that we have are the flapper and the overflow and the filler and the filler valve, and then you got this handle. We're actually going to reuse this handle because I just swapped this out. But we're going to replace these with a brand new filler and valve and flap and overflow. The first step to replacing these is removing the old ones. The Everything Kit actually comes with a couple of tools that fit right over the plastic nuts for the flapper and for the filler. So we're going to take this big plastic nut off first. We're going to put all our old parts off to one side. So there's our flapper and overfill, and we're going to use this little wrench on top to get this off. Alright, there's the fill valve. Alright, so with that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and start with the fill valve. Just line it up with the bottom hole here, and then take this plastic nut and get it tightened on the bottom. Before we put it in, we're actually going to change the size a little bit. So we're going to make this a lot smaller because this tank is actually pretty short. So we're going to get that in there like this. And you can see now that fits below the top. Now this, the cap for this filler comes right to the top of this bowl, but there's actually, if you untwist this, you can make the fill stem longer and shorter. So let's remember when it's time to adjust the overflow to make it short as well. So I'm going to line it up so that the filler stem is pointing towards the middle. Get that plastic nut back on. And it's got a rubber seal on the other side, so we don't have to crank it down too much. But I'm going to get it nice and tight. Alright, so now that we've got that one in place, we can take the big plastic nut off the bottom of we got to remove that little paper washer. That's just there to protect the flapper and shipping. We'll remove this chain. And then you can see on top there's these numbers here. That's just to adjust how much water actually leaves the tank. I'm going to put it somewhere in the middle. I think I put the other one I installed at a 5, so we'll put this one at a 5. This controls how much water actually leaves the tank into the bowl. And for the sake of this, I'm actually going to make this shorter as well. You want the difference from the top of your filler. You want the difference from the top of your filler to the top of your valve to be about 1 inch. Okay, so according to the instructions, you get this in there. They want you to put this they call it the friction ring. It's a little cardboard washer on there. And then get your plastic nut, screw it on, and then wherever that red get that nice and tight. Once that's tightened on there, take this red seal that comes with it and put it on, and that's going to crush down when we put this back on the bowl. Now, the last thing we need to install is there's this little rubber hose that goes on this little barbed outlet right here. You just kind of slide this over the top, and then you take this little clip right here. This is the other end of the clip. You put the other end of the hose onto that barb there, and then you put this clip with this metal piece on the outside onto your fill, or onto your overflow stem, just like that. So now this rubber hose dumps into the overflow. All right, and then the last thing is take our little chain here. Take our chain, and we need to find the point on the lever where the chain and the lever intersect, more or less, like this. So now we've got the chain has the least amount of slack, and a slight tap of the lever pulls up the flapper like that. Can y'all see that? So you've got the slack taken out there, so that the least amount of pressure pulls up that flapper. And I'm not going to cut that chain off. What I'm going to do instead is I'm actually going to gather that chain up a few rings and put it on the little clip there, so if I need to adjust it later, I can. But right now you can see it seems to be working great. Alright, so now that that's all in place, I can take my bolts that the new bolts that it comes with. You'll notice it also comes with this seal. It comes with a bunch of extra bolts. There are some different. This is made for different installations and different bowl types, so you might not use all the parts that it comes with. Just consult the manual. It has instructions for specific types of toilets and what you'll need for each. All right. So now for the new bolts, you have the carriage bolt. You put the rubber washer on. This will drop through the bottom of the bowl, and then on the other side, it'll go through the bowl. Put a metal washer on, and then a metal nut on the bottom. And we'll do that back upstairs because that's all we have to do down here. So when we go upstairs, we will get this tank installed back on the bowl, and then we'll make sure that the bowl and tank fill up the way we want them to. All right, let's head back upstairs. We're back in the bathroom. First thing we're gonna do is take our towel and just clean up the area between the bowl and the tank. Since we won't be able to see this again anytime soon, it's good that we clean it up now. All right, and then we'll drop our red seal right there, right onto that hole. Line up our bolt holes. And once we've got those lined up, we can drop in our bolts. So we'll put one bolt and one washer on this side, and one bolt and one washer on this side. And then what we'll do to make sure that that gasket gets squeezed down evenly is we'll go back and forth, tightening this side and this side to make sure we've got a nice even seal on that red gasket that sits between the bowl and the tank. And I'm actually going to use this green tool that comes with it. This part up here is meant to fit the nuts on the bottom. So I'm just going to go back and forth and tighten this up. So we tighten it up on this side a little bit, and we'll go to the other side for a little bit, and then go back and forth. So I've got the tank attached to the bowl, and now I'm going to take the water hose and attach it to the bottom of the tank. So you just take your hose, you put it on the part that sticks out of the bottom from our fill valve, and you get that on there nice and tight. And then I'm going to turn on the water. As I turn on this water, I'm going to be checking for leaks from the bottom of my hose and from all of my bolt holes here and here, just to make sure that nothing's leaking as I fill this up. So one more thing to note, this valve right here, or this screw right here, controls the amount of water in the tank. So it's got a plus and minus. If you want more water in the tank, you turn it to the right. If you want less water in the tank, you turn it to the left. And then this controls how fast the water goes into the basin. So we'll turn this on now and watch the basin fill up. Okay? So I'm keeping turning it. I don't feel any leaks from underneath. So far, so good. And I got my towel right here. In case anything does start leaking, I can wipe it up real quick. And once again, we're looking for leaks at the bottom of the tank, out of any of our bolt holes, and especially between the gap between the tank and the bowl, we're looking for any leaking right here. So reaching in there, just trying to feel if we feel any water coming out, which we don't, which is a good thing. All right, the water has reached the float. Okay, great. So the float valve worked, the filler worked, and now we'll check to flush. So here we go. Let's see what happens. It's filling the bowl, which is good. All right, I'd say that's perfect. Now there's a couple of ways we can adjust. Like we can adjust how much water goes into the tank, how much water goes into the bowl with the red disc. But for the time being, this looks great, and I'll just make fine adjustments as we need to. And just like that, this job's done. All in all, that's a really easy project for anybody around the house to do. The kits themselves are fairly inexpensive. I think I got this one at Lowe's for 25 bucks. And it all comes together, even with some helpful tools like the green tool and the red tool we use for the large plastic nuts. Barring the rusted bolts, which we just cut with a hacksaw blade, this didn't take very long at all. Honestly, probably took me about 30 minutes all in to take it apart, put the new components in, and then put it back together, and it makes a huge difference. I'm super excited for when my wife's family gets here that I'm not going to have to run back and forth in the middle of the night to stop toilets that are running. Thanks again for coming along with us. I hope you learned something. If you like this video, give give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, let me know what I did wrong. Let me know what you would have done differently. I'm really excited to get feedback from you guys that have been doing this a lot longer and have some tips and tricks for us that are just getting started. Consider subscribing if you like this video and want to see more like it. We're always doing projects around the farm, be it home renovations, fixing up the vehicles, different things we're doing in the shop. It's always a lot of fun, and if you like this content, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye now.